I would say that you hear a lot about point solutions these days and digitization journey, etc. I would say that it's not really about one point solution ever, nor product or set of codes or algorithm. It's really a transformational journey with a capital J, I'd say, on the journey to help customers and clients get to their destination with some tools to enable them to innovate and to automate.
All right, today we have with us Maroun Mourad, President of Global Underwriting at Verisk. Welcome, Maroun.
Hey, Amber, thank you. Good afternoon.
Thanks for coming on. Let's start at the intersection of underwriting and customer experience. So how does innovation in underwriting support innovation of customer experience?
Yeah, that's a big topic, and then we don't have a full afternoon, but I think that we all agree, listening to the customer, just at the holistic customer level, and then at the sub-segment, serving the customer journey takes me across both segments of insurance, both domestically and abroad. Looking at the customer and their needs is a good starting point. Going back to the heart of your question, underwriting, I believe that it should be easier, more seamless, matched to the segment and sub-segment by deeply understanding the customer needs. You may say, well, what do you mean? Well, here are a couple of examples. Don't ask questions which won't change your underwriting decision. That's like CX 101, right? Don't ask questions for which answers can be obtained, especially in today's world, by data pre-fill, accurate and reliable data. There's also an element of helping our customers avoid lapse and manage churn with their distribution channels. And we're taking some pretty concrete steps here to help on that marketing front, say pre-underwriting. You may have heard that we've recently acquired Jornaya into the Verisk family, and we're helping align our customers and insurers' underwriting appetite with the target insured profile before actually the submission hits the door.
Absolutely. I think you hit on some really key points there. Data is so effective at that proactive service, right? So instead of fighting fraud or investigating that at the claims point, you've got an accurate policy from the get-go that also creates that experience that people have come to expect. Those consumer expectations have been filtering over from other industries for, years. So, the more that we can provide that and not ask extraneous questions or questions that we can get to in another way that's less invasive, less intrusive, certainly it would go a long way towards that CX for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree.
And telematics is another area of underwriting data that has been widely discussed for quite a few years now. But at this point, has the industry realized its potential with telematics and usage-based insurance, or do you foresee continued growth and investment in this space?
I thought you'd never ask. So yes and yes, I would say. Telematics, the use of telematics, IoT or UBI across auto, but also home, travel as well is evolving and continues to evolve. I would say this is another area where the journey deserves a capital J from enhancements, large data sets, as well as ongoing investment. As you probably know, we at Verisk have the Verisk Data Exchange. We host over 7 million connected vehicles, and we've got over 220 billion with a B miles of data. So ingesting the data, standardizing it, and serving it back to help the industry and drivers enhance their performance and their loss ratios and driving is good for business, and it's also good for society. In addition to this, extracting some of the data, talking to regulators, and filing claims-based driving behavior scoring models is also bringing lift and help to the insurance industry. On the home front, with the smart home, smart property data, you're seeing some increased investment and usage there. So with Verisk, we have partnerships with ADT and Vivint. And just to close the loop on IoT and connected devices and technology, of course, over in the life space, the shift continues to move from simple protection, which is very important, to also helping ultimate insureds, our customers lead better lives, healthier lives, improve wellness and longevity and morbidity. And we see the injection and ingestion of wearables data as a key part of what we're doing over on the life side.
It's been fascinating to see it shift over into other areas. You think about telematics starting with vehicles, but to think about it, going into property, going into life, and then how that can, add the perception of value to consumers as well. I think that just intuitively connects with consumers of, it makes sense to them, whereas insurance often doesn't always make sense to consumers. The concept of, using and preventative measures, things like that, are certainly something that I think, add value to all the stakeholders, including the insured.
Yeah, I totally agree. The statements are true at any time, irrespective of, so COVID neutral. This is good for society, this is good for business, and a topic that's very dear to your heart, I know, from a CX perspective. It's just amazing. I mean, we are now joining the rest of the world in terms of digital engagement and making it easy for customers to work with us.
Absolutely. And switching gears a bit, first of all, congrats on your acquisitions this past year with Verisk. So definitely an area that you're involved in. So let's talk about M&A. So M&A activity across the insurance space continued at a pretty aggressive clip in 2020, despite the challenging macro environment. How do you see 2021 playing out? How will M&A shape the industry in the coming months, do you think?
Yes, that is a hot area, and congrats on your most recent transaction as well.
Thank you.
I'm sure you'll continue to do exceptionally well in your new home. From our vantage point, let me just give you a couple of points of view here. We'd like to see perhaps a bit more balancing out in terms of investor focus on both growth, organic growth, not only through acquisitions, as well as EBITDA margins. So this is what we look for when we're looking to acquire firms. The strange concept of profitability and positive cash flow in today's M&A world. We see the multiples remaining super high in the markets, and you see a lot of activity in the public space, whether it's through a SPAC or not. Is this sustainable for the long term? Who knows? At some point, I presume that investors would love to see the investment translate into returns on invested capital. We at Verisk respect the entrepreneurial spirit. As you point out, we're acquisitive. Myself, I've been involved with a lot of acquisitions, and it is very exhilarating and exciting to work with entrepreneurs. One has to be disciplined when acquiring, of course, and we need to make sure that we're returning a very healthy return on invested capital for our shareholders. But we're certainly excited about the future, both organic and inorganic. We've got an exceptionally high retention rate of founders, management teams, and extended teams, probably on my 7th deal in 5 years here. And it helps us stay focused, nimble, innovative, because of our unique culture. We are both a firm that is 50 years old, literally in 2021, 50 years in the business serving customers. And we are shaped every single day in our thinking, modus operandi, and innovation by our existing colleagues and the new colleagues who join the Verisk family through acquisitions. So I hope that provides some insight on M&A.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's an exciting time for the industry, and obviously an exciting time for Verisk, and staying fast and nimble and entrepreneurial is no small feat when you're a large organization. So I always have to, give kudos to those like Verisk who are able to achieve that balance of size and speed. It's not an easy feat. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to share your perspective today on your very diverse background on underwriting and innovation across P&C and life.
Thank you, Amber. It's great to see you again. Appreciate your time.
Nice to see you.